Hi, and thank you for watching us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and try to help you to navigate the circumstances and the tax regulations as they apply to you. So today I'm going to talk about opting out of receiving child benefit to avoid the high income child benefit charge. And before I do, if I could just ask, if you're new here, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you find the information helpful, then please do pop a like on the video. That helps us to understand which topics are the most useful to the most people and to prioritise our resources accordingly. So back then to opting out of receiving child benefit in order to avoid the high income child benefit charge. So you will be aware that the high income child benefit charge applies at the slightly higher threshold now of £60,000. And what that means is that if your income, your adjusted income is over 60,000 and you are in receipt of child benefit, then you will be subject to the high income child benefit charge. And how this works is for every £100 over the threshold, the charge equates to 1% of your child benefit. The taper applies between 60,000 and 80,000. So to summarize or to put the theory into practice, if you had total adjusted income of £70,000, your child benefit, high income child benefit charge would be equivalent to half of the child benefit that you have received. Now, one of the options to avoid having to pay the charge, but to retain the benefit of being entitled to child benefit, is to opt out of being paid. So the times that this would be applicable, you'll remember that the high income charge, it applies to the highest earner. So you could be in a scenario, for example, where one of a partner is working and earning over that threshold, and the other partner is not working, perhaps caring for children. So in that scenario, you would still receive a credit, a qualifying year credit, even though you weren't actually paying national insurance for that year until the children are 12. And the way that you actually get that credit is determined by the child benefit. So if you just cancel your child benefit, then you won't receive that credit if it's applicable. So of course it may be that both partners are earning above the threshold for paying national insurance, and that's not relevant, but it is important before that you just cancel your child benefit claim altogether, that you check that you don't need any reason to show that you're entitled to it, such as that example. So in this scenario where you need to have the entitlement shown, but you know that you're going to earn over the top taper of the threshold and therefore in effect going to be subject to a charge to repay that child benefit, what you can actually do is you can still make your claim, but tick the box to say that you want to opt out of receiving. So therefore, you will still be entitled to it for all intents and purposes. It will still be the same record as if you had received it, but you won't be paid that money, which will mean there'll be no high income child benefit charge because there was nothing to pay. Now, just a word of caution, if you are doing this, what happens is if you drop below the threshold and you have opted out, you won't then receive any child benefit. So you won't receive the amount that you would have been able to retain had you have received your child benefit and then paid the high income child benefit charge. So for example, if you were ended up being at 70,000 and you would have therefore only had a high income child benefit charge of equating to half of the child benefit that you received, you can't then receive that half if you've opted out. So it's important to make sure that you consider all of the implications before you act in this. So it's of course everyone has different ideas of what they feel is appropriate to them, but it's just important to ensure that before you actually opt out or cancel your child benefit charge altogether, that you do understand the implications as they may apply to you. Of course, if you do cancel it or opt out, they can be reversed, but not necessarily retrospectively, depending on how long it is since that's happened. So in the description, I will pop the link to high income child benefit charge information on gov.uk, which will give you all of the links if you are looking to opt out. So hopefully that this has been helpful. As I mentioned earlier, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.